Missouri House Speaker John Deal has apologized for his actions in a sexting scandal, but he's not answering questions about it. On Wednesday night, Deal spent hours in his office before emerging. KRCG 13's Garrett Bergquist was there when Deal walked out.
House Speaker John Deal on Wednesday night did not deny the sexting allegations against him.
It was very regrettable. It was a stupid thing to do, and I'm sorry. It's all.
A Kansas City Star report published Wednesday morning says Deal exchanged sexually charged text messages with a female college freshman interning at the Capitol. The report says the student was part of a Missouri Southern State University Capitol internship program. The school abruptly canceled the program this spring. Democratic lawmakers are circulating a petition demanding Deal step down.
This is a blemish over the entire General Assembly and every single member in it. And to say that you're taking responsibility and not do the right thing and step down is disingenuous as far as I'm concerned.
Reporters waited outside Deal's office for hours to get the speaker on the record.
Sorry, so I'll answer a couple questions.
How long did this go on for?
My statement speaks for itself.
Did you make all those texts that were in the paper, basically, and why did you deny it for 3 weeks then?
Virginia, my statement speaks for itself, okay?
No,
I made a stupid mistake.
Did you write all those texts?
Were all those real?
We're not going anywhere. We're staying out.
So why were you trying to mislead the stuff?
What are your feelings on this? I mean, it's been all
I made a
day.
mistake. I'm sorry. I'm human. I apologized. And I've asked for my caucus forgiveness.
Deal never provided any answers beyond his brief statement. House Republicans met for about an hour earlier in the evening. They refused to say what they had discussed, but they did say Deal was still Speaker. In Jefferson City, Garrett Bergquist, KRCG 13.
Lawyers for the intern refused to comment.
Garrett Bergquist is at the Capitol tonight and was there when the announcement was made. He joins us now with more.
Well, Kermit and Megan, nobody opposed Richardson's nomination at this evening's caucus. John Deal was not present for this evening's vote. Richardson told reporters he wants to start a full review of the House's internship policies as soon as the session ends tomorrow evening. And he said he wants a revised policy in place by the time the legislature comes back into session in January. And Richardson says he wants to restore some of the public's lost confidence in the state legislature.
I don't think the last 5 months have put the legislature and this public institution in a particularly good light. And it's my great hope that beginning tomorrow, we can get back to work and focusing on improving that public perception. So that's going to be a priority for me as the Speaker, and I know it's going to be a priority for our entire leadership team.
Richardson still needs to face a full vote by the entire House before officially becoming Speaker, and he would remain Speaker through the next election, which would be in 2016, so for the remainder of this particular iteration of the General Assembly. Live at the state capitol, Garrett Bergquist, KRCG 13.
Good evening. State Auditor Tom Schweik died today of what police say was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Schweik had just begun his second term as auditor and had just launched a bid for the governor's office. KRCG 13's Garrett Bergquist today spoke with area lawmakers. He joined us now in the studio to tell us how they want Tom Schweik to be remembered. Garrett?
Kermit, news of Tom Schweik's death stunned lawmakers and brought activity at the state capitol to a halt. I spoke both on and off camera with several members of the General Assembly. They all told me Schweik was an honest man and a hard worker. Lawmakers were engaged in floor debate when they got news of Tom Schweik's death.
We adjourned pretty quickly, and most people knew at that point something was wrong, and so around noon after we adjourned, the word started to circulate that something tragic had happened.
Police in the St. Louis suburb of Clayton say they were called to Schweik's home there at 9:48 Thursday morning.
Mr. Schweik was conveyed by Clayton Fire Department personnel to Barnes Trauma Center, where he was subsequently pronounced deceased from a single gunshot wound. What we know at this point suggests an apparent suicide.
As word of Schweik's death spread, state lawmakers gathered in the House chambers for a prayer service.
And for as the heavens are high above the earth, and so great is his mercy towards those who love him.
It's a tragedy for Missouri, really, and everybody's having a little bit of a hard time just kind of getting their hands around it. And I believe that he did what he thought was right every time for Missouri taxpayers, and you know, he was good at that job and really came up with some interesting audits.
Other statewide office holders met with Governor Jay Nixon behind closed doors. Nixon's office would not comment on what they discussed. Lawmakers say Schweik should be remembered as a man who put duty ahead of personal gain.
He was just a man of integrity, and he did his job well. And he, although he was, you know, had big plans and aspirations, he didn't let those get in the way of how he did his job in the auditor's office.